What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we are going to be doing the final affordable performance modification to my R35 Nissan GTR. It only goes up from here. The next steps would be a $10,000 transmission build, $10,000 turbo upgrade, something crazy like that. So this car, full bolt-ons, full exhaust system, bigger intakes, bigger intercooler, upgraded the recirculation valves, have a flex fuel kit on it, bigger fuel injectors, upgraded fuel pump, on full E85. It makes around 700 horsepower to the crank, so it certainly is a really fast car. Of course, I can get up to 800 to 1,000 horsepower at the wheels if I do those really expensive modifications. So with that said, the final affordable modification for performance is a pedal commander. Now I had one on my Toyota Supra, and honestly it's one of those things you don't think you need until you do it. Basically this unit allows me to control the pedal in the car and really fine-tune the throttle response. Now I know a lot of people may think, well, just floor it more and that's gonna give you the better power, the quicker power sooner. Honestly, it's one of those things you just can't explain. You gotta install it in your car and feel it out. So the way this pedal commander is pretty much gonna work, you can see all the different controls on it. We have different drive modes from Eco all the way up to Sport Plus, and then you can see the green and the red icons for all the different settings within them. And then we have two plugs. When you order these, they're gonna come with two plugs, and they're basically gonna fit the plugs that are connected to your factory gas pedal down below. And what it does, this intercepts the signal that your throttle pedal is sending to the computer that then electronically open up your throttle bodies. So this pedal commander, like I said, intercepts that signal to where when you give it half throttle, it's actually gonna give you that half throttle down under the hood, but instantly, instead of just waiting to where there might be like a 2-second delay from when the car's actually opening those throttle bodies. It makes it to where they actually open when you hit the throttle pedal. So on the GTR, it looks like it's this cable right on top of the actual throttle pedal. And I think from here, I can just grab it. So I'll take the one end and connect that into the one I just took off of the car. And that is nice and secure. Hopefully you can see that. And then take the other plug and put it back into the throttle pedal up on top of this module. And that is connected. That was the easiest installation ever. And then from there, you can just tuck these cables however you'd like. I can get them behind this carpeting a little bit. And then from there, you can mount this however you would like. It does come with some Velcro, zip ties, and other things to mount this. A lot of people, like I had on my Supra, will mount it maybe right there to where it's close to the driver. So then now inside the car, I'll just go ahead and turn the ignition on, and this should come to life. You can see it blinking a little bit. You can also turn this completely off. So if I just tap this button, no lights are on, so now it's as if nothing's even plugged in. So you can always pretty much take this off while not actually unplugging it. Turning it on, looks like it starts in city mode. Then all you do, you just toggle this button, and you see how it goes into the different modes. And I think if you hold it, it'll go to the eco mode, but let's just leave it in sport. And I believe it'll always stay in whichever one you leave it in. And then you just toggle this down into the negatives, however you would like. So really easy the way everything works. You can see all the lights changing, but let's go to city and we'll just leave it in +1, and that's how we're gonna start it. All right, so now setting off in the GTR, one of the common misconceptions with these pedal commanders, people think it adds horsepower. It's not gonna change at all how much horsepower and torque your car is producing. It simply makes the power that your car does produce seem to come on quicker in relation to your throttle pedal. It's kind of a complicated thing to explain, but it's really one of those things that until you have it on your car, you don't quite understand it, because it's not the same as just stepping on the gas and feeling all the throttle. So with that said, we are in city +1. This feels pretty similar to stock. Although giving it just quarter throttle right there, that actually was definitely more responsive than I'm used to. Definitely more responsive. It basically is throttle tuning. You're able to now make it feel like you have more throttle input without actually doing that, to where the gas is more touchy. And if you've ever been in a car that has like an eco mode, like the GTR, if I put it into save mode, it's still really bad. That's awesome, wow. So giving it quarter throttle now actually feels about what the car used to be like. You have to give it at least 10% throttle for the car to start doing something. So now going back into normal mode, and this is the stock throttle tuning, giving it that same gas. Giving it 10% throttle, the car is now ripping. So it just makes the car feel so much more performance oriented. again, it's one of those things, it's so hard to really translate that to video, but already in this setting, this almost feels like this is the perfect setting. It's crazy, I almost got lucky on the first try. We'll try it on some other modes, because I know in the Supra, going up to like Sport Plus is undrivable for these type of performance cars. I mean, it's just, you touch the throttle and it's as if you did full throttle, so it's crazy to drive like that. So to play with it a little bit more, one thing I always do when I adjust it, I make sure I'm not on the throttle pedal. So let's go up to Sport mode now, into +1, so basically 10 times more responsive. Alright, so there's still turbo lag in the GTR, that's how it is. Let's do this in manual, but in that mode, wow, 10% throttle is at least like 50%. This feels like I am ripping the car. Wow. And you can hear the turbo almost being more like crazy. Wow. So now I can play with just a little bit of throttle input and the car instantly does what I want it to do. That is pretty responsive. I'm almost scared to go to Sport Plus mode just because I know how crazy that is. So Sport Plus, and we'll just stay with +1, and I'll put the valves on, and we'll tighten up the transmission too, just for the heck of it. So from third gear, I'm just touching the gas. Wow. Yeah, so now in the Sport Plus mode, I just give it a little bit of throttle input and it is ripping. Now if I turn the whole system off, so now it's nothing. Half throttle in 6th gear, all you feel is the turbo lag, dropping it to 4th, half throttling it. And there's a lot longer delay literally with the boost. So it's almost, even though it technically isn't spooling the turbos any faster, because the throttle input is now happening at a much quicker rate electronically wise, the turbo lag is a lot less because I can give it a little bit of throttle, and by the time I would have physically done half throttle, the car has already read to do half throttle to where the turbos are already spooled. So it just makes things happen much quicker. That is really impressive already. So that's kind of a 4th gear slow roll with it off. And then if we turn it back on, let's go back to Sport +1. So now, doing the same thing, half throttle. Probably cuts that time in half. I don't even mind this car on the Sport Plus mode. Sport Plus in +1. Wow. That's almost instantaneous as soon as I touch the gas. Gosh. I love that. I love that touch. It's one of those mods that you don't ever think about fine-tuning your throttle pedal. And you always hear cars talk about, you know, oh, it's got a quick throttle response, things like that. When you add a pedal commander, it really makes it to where it actually has better pedal response, to where when you hit the pedal, the throttle bodies listen to exactly what your pedal is doing, and what your pedal is doing exactly is what your brain is telling it to do. So that just takes out any lag and any guessing of how much throttle input to do. And I feel like it makes the car drive just so much better, because now you can really tell the car what to do. And that's my biggest thing with a car like this, especially a performance car. I love having control of it. With this car, with the dual clutch, I have so much control over the transmission. And now I have so much control over a lot more. And I'm back on about 50% ethanol, which I haven't had in a long time. And needless to say, this thing will hit whatever speed you want to go. Really, really quickly. Wow. Oh my gosh. Gosh. It just tightens the car up so much. That is so impressive. And because this car does have a lot of turbo lag, especially comparing it to when I had the Toyota Supra, you still get that kind of soft spot to where it's not just instant, oh my gosh, power. There still is that turbo spool time, but now you've taken out the throttle delay from when you think you want power by hitting the gas to when it actually accelerates. So that's what it takes out. And wow, that just wakes up the car, where it's even more fun. And I think after some testing, I think I'm gonna leave it on Sport +1. And like I said, with it set now, I don't need to adjust it anymore. If I want to fine tune it, of course I can grab the module and adjust it, or even use Pedal Commander's app. They have a whole app you can use on your phone and easily electronically control it on your cell phone. So I'm gonna tuck this away to where I don't see it, because I think I'm pretty set on that setting. And if I want to fine tune it further, I'll just use the app and adjust it. But that is one heck of a performance upgrade. So to completely install this, I'm going to use the bracket that the Pedal Commander came with, along with the smaller piece of Velcro. You can see it all connected. And then underneath my driver's area, this panel, there's a lot of hollow area. I'm just going to take this and literally stick it onto the back side up here. And then all of this cable is just going to be tucked up under here, completely out of the way. It's never going to obviously get in my way. And we are good to go. So there we have it, just another performance mod on the Nissan GTR that just makes it better. Every mod on this car has made it so much more fun to drive. At this point, I haven't really driven the car too much in the last few weeks, but I put about a half a tank through it of E85 in the last day and had some fun ripping on it this morning, and just now ripping on it a little bit more. It is such a fun car, and the Pedal Commander really wakes up the power. It just makes it come on sooner, more responsive, and it connects you to the car a lot better than in the stock form. It's such an awesome mod, and I love how I can retain the factory settings using the save mode into normal mode and then the transmission into the race mode. It still responds like stock, dimming the power and dimming the throttle response with the Pedal Commander. And even on the Lexus, we could totally install it on a more normal car like this, and it would liven it up, all for a really affordable price. But back to the GTR, it is pretty much maxed out as far as affordably building this car up. Anything more is gonna break the bank and cost as much as another car. But I'm so glad I was able to do the Pedal Commander on the Nissan GTR. I will have that linked all down below in the description, regardless of your car, whether it's a high performance car, a sports car, a normal everyday car. You know, Pedal Commander is really gonna make it just feel that much better. So definitely check them out, linked down below. So that is it for today's video, doing the last affordable performance mod on the Nissan GTR. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for plenty more content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.